Today we're talking to a startup furniture brand. It's not very often we have startup brands on the podcast. This is a business that have recently pivoted to just sell dining tables. They're handmade, they're bespoke, they're really very nice, but the problem is they're only selling one or two of them a month. Now this is a business owner that doesn't want to go into stratosphere. He only wants to increase those sales from a couple a month up to 10 a month. And that is going to steer the direction of this conversation. And I think it's going to be very interesting for those small businesses wanting to get those first few footsteps online. It's going to be interesting. Let's get into it.
I have always had a passion for interior design, have a workshop that I built right there in the garden. I can roll out of bed and into the workshop and start making tables.
How long does it take you to make one?
It can be a number of weeks.
The biggest thing he's got is that he's making the stuff himself. He's in his workshop.
That's so rare.
Being such a bespoke item, it's very often more sensible to just talk to people about what they want, talk them through what can be done and what's realistic.
People love people.
People buy from people. It's because people are fascinated by true craftsmanship.
They love it.
The product, I have to say, is beautiful. You make those changes, you can absolutely get to your 10 sales a month. Right, welcome back, beautiful people. I hope everyone is doing well. Startup business on the pod today. Not very often do we have startup businesses on. Generally, they're a little bit more established. We certainly don't work with startup businesses. But I wanted to bring our guest on today. The brand is actually called designinthesand.co.uk. Any clues what they do from the name?
No, I queried it for a while before I knew what they did.
Yeah, when the application first came in, we sort of looked, what do they do? What do they do? And then we found out that they make the sand relevance, I guess, is to the sawdust, that sort of thing, I'm assuming. But it's in reference to the bespoke furniture that they make. Startup business based down in Cornwall, no less. Beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
And this is a business that has, up until very recently, it's sort of a bit of a side hustle is the vibe I'm getting at the moment from Tim, our guest, but we'll get more into that when we bring him on. But it's a business that they were making and at one stage bringing in all manner of home furnishing products. They've recently, as of I think within the last 6 months, have sort of pivoted or focused, my favourite word, focused on just making bespoke dining tables. It's really nice stuff on the website.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You can check it out. You go to designinthesand.co.uk if you so choose. But some really bespoke, customized, sort of all manner of different sort of dining tables, kitchen tables, that sort of a thing. But this is a very, very small business. It's a side hustle business. It's a business that's only doing, I'd say, a couple of sales a month right now. What else can I tell you? So, the challenges that Tim has listed is making sales online. Frankly, where do you even start? What do you need to do? How can he? At the moment, he's doing a little bit of marketing, no ads at all. He's doing a little bit of SEO with a bit of content in there, and he's got someone managing his social media, but no ads. And so essentially, his cost base is just paying someone to help him with the SEO, with the social stuff. And I guess he's offsetting that in part with the couple of sales he's making. And really, I think this will be such a familiar story to those startups, people are thinking, I'll start and I'll take my passion and turn it into a business. And I think, it's a question that I can imagine lots of people have is, well, how do you get started? What do you do?
I've often thought the same thing about...
Well, you've had a couple of ideas.
I've got many ventures,
you do.
and I'm not going to say them because someone will steal them.
Well, quite. But you do. You are Mr.
Just
Ideas,
like Uber. I came up with Uber just before.
Really? He
That's my claim to fame.
Came up with Uber, apparently. Unbelievable. But and I think there will be lots of people that will hopefully better relate to this. And I think the questions that Tim's put on his application, which I think are super interesting, is, where can he find a good Google Ads manager? Well, he's in the right place. But, is he ready to use Google Ads? What should he be doing and when? And I think so many businesses think, well, I've turned my passion into a business. I've created a Shopify website. I've maybe had a first few sales. What next? When do I take that leap? When do I start thinking maybe some Google ads, which is, or Meta ads, or all these things that people start thinking, how do you grow? And I've got some ideas and things that, I've seen and recommended in the past of what I think I do. Because it's going to be tough. Because, if you look at this and you go, well, okay, he's selling dining tables. They're bespoke, they're handmade. But ultimately, so are a lot of other people.
That's true.
with much bigger budgets, and how do you get a foothold? Because when you think of your target customer, as is the case here, there will be people looking for bespoke this and customize this and this and the other, but then there are going to be so many other people in the market that are already doing exactly that stuff.
Yeah.
And people won't search in a specific enough way where really you can make it work commercially for any sales. And even then, to get visibility, if you're paying for it, it's going to be very expensive.
Yes.
And if you're trying to rank organically, that's going to take time. So it becomes a really tricky...
It's a tough one.
It is a tough one. And it's not too dissimilar. One of our our other guests that we've recently had on the pod is a very similar situation, a little bit further along, but we're in a very similar situation. So a bit of a theme with these guests coming on. So yes, that is going to be the conversation. And before we get into... Do you know, actually, I'm just thinking, when will this episode be going out? Will this be pre or post? It's going to be around...
It's around Christmas. It might be after Christmas.
Oh, this could be early January.
Could be.
Well, if it is, do you know what? I think we need to congratulate ourselves. Do you know why?
Why?
Because by the time this does air, whether it is end of December or January or whenever, our ad would have been out, our Christmas ads.
It will.
And as we can say, we can future predict what a roaring success it was, seen by hundreds of thousands.
Millions. They keep coming in. Oh, it's broken the servers, Aaron.
Hasn't it just? That John Lewis ad, we eclipsed it, didn't we?
We're on the news, Aaron.
We could dream. But yeah, hopefully by the time this comes out, thinking about it, it will have been out a few weeks.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it might have been out and done, and we're into the new year.
It might be. We might be on to the next one.
Who's thinking about Christmas?
What Christmas ad?
Exactly. But yeah, so I think we should congratulate ourselves first.
Yes.
What a roaring success it's no doubt going to be. At the time of recording this, we're in the thick of producing it, creating it.
We are.
We're still recording for it.
We're still doing it, yeah. We're nearly there.
We are nearly there. We've got one more shoot.
It's so good.
And I love this. I've got to share this because this is fascinating. So we've got one more shoot at the time of recording this. And our guests our people who watch and listen to the pod, they like the fact that they know what we're up to and they can see, but through Uncut,
we're very open.
We're very open. They always see what we're up to. And we are actually there'll be an episode of Uncut about us making the Christmas ad. But one of the things that I think is just really interesting in telling is this latest scene we've got. We've got to have a whole day on a Saturday. We're going out to do a whole day's worth of shooting, and all to capture 12 seconds of footage. That's all we've got left.
12 seconds.
We've got 12 seconds. We're doing a 90-second ad.
It's the only space we have.
It's a 90-second ad, and so we filled 78 seconds. That's how meticulous we're doing this Christmas ad. Is we filled 78 seconds. We've got 12 seconds. We know exactly. Well, you know exactly what you want to put in that time.
Yeah.
And you've already sort of storyboarded it. And we're going to do a whole day's worth of filming to capture 12 seconds. See, the effort we go to.
We
and just think, by the time this comes out, it'll be ancient history.
It'll be, nobody will care about it at that point,
Unbelievable.
surely.
Well, I'll be still watching it back in March, still laughing about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's amazing.
It is good. It is. I'm loving creating it. It's great. But today's is a nice break from recording the ad. Instead, let's record podcasts.
Yeah,
all
day.
All day. Yes,
we're going to break our record. Well, that's what we're attempting to do today.
We've got multiple podcasts.
We've never recorded as many as we're going to try to record today.
I know, it's great. I'm loving it. So, and I've got multiple changes of tops. Just to mix
you'll
it up
never
a bit.
know. It's all on the same day.
Exactly that. See, that's what we. Yeah, exactly that. Right. So. Let's people get behind us and say, I never thought he changed his top, or you did multiple.
Didn't realise you went so much effort.
We leverage our time and we're super efficient.
That's it.
And it works, and we have a blooming good time.
Yeah.
I love podcasting days because
that's so good.
We just have so many conversations.
Yeah.
It's great, and we've had some absolute raucous ones. And we are, if you're listening to this, but we are now doing podcasts. We've done quite a few in-person ones. None today. Everyone today is online.
Yeah.
But we are actually doing more and more. We're getting about 1 in 3 guests. Are wanting, as an average, are wanting to come in.
It is, and it's interesting because the more people I've spoken to about it, the more they've said that they enjoy watching those in-person ones as well. I mean, anybody who's listening, who's thinking about coming onto the pod, just know it's an option. If you want to come in to the Evergreen agency in person and come and sit down with us in this room, then you can do so.
Yeah, you can.
But of course, we do have the remote option available for anybody.
And for people like Tim down in Cornwall, that's a bit of an ask.
It's a bit of an ask. Come up for
5-hour drive up for an hour's pod. So Tim's fine to do it online.
But speaking of things we love,
go on.
I love a good paid media mystery.
Do you? Me too. If only we had a segment that did that.
If only we had a theme. Oh, wait a second. Here's one.
I love that jingle. That is never getting old. I love it.
It's a good jingle.
It's so good.
I can't take too much credit for it.
I can't help but bop it to it. Do some classic dad dancing to it. It's great.
It's for full transparency. It's made by AI, but it does do exactly what we need.
It's brilliant. I love it. That's a beautiful thing. You know, AI it's got its faults, but it's also amazing for stuff like that. I love it. Yeah.
So I am sticking with Google Ads.
What am I so far?
You're 1 out of 4. Yeah. So right, one win out of 4. So this is number 5. And we're sticking with Google Ads, which means that we are right on theme.
Okay.
I'm not going off theme ever again. This is paid media.
I pulled him over the coals before it.
So the question is, and we're back in campaigns, but last time we talked about, what was it, character count on headlines.
Yeah.
This time, we're talking about number of campaigns. Now, we've spoken to a lot of clients who we say have too many campaigns.
Yep.
But they're nowhere near as many campaigns as you can have on Google Ads. Ooh. So what is the maximum number of campaigns that you can run on a single Google Ads account? I'll give you a hint. It's a nice round number.
Okay. Well, my immediate... Okay. I really don't know. Okay, hold on. Let me think about it. Number of campaigns in a Google Ads.
A single Google Ads account. I also gave you a little subtle extra hint there when I said the people we've spoken to about having too many are nowhere near the amount that you can have.
It sounds like... Is it 1,000?
It's more.
Really?
Yeah.
More than 1,000. Wow.
A single Google Ad account can handle up to 10,000 campaigns.
I didn't know that. I genuinely didn't know. Wow.
Yeah.
10,000.
That we would never recommend.
No, my
you
goodness.
use
if you get above 10, I start to, sort of should get the shakes.
Yeah.
10,000. I honestly would have. Yeah, I would have said 1,000.
Yeah.
10,000. My goodness me. The accounts with the most number of campaigns I've ever seen would be maybe somewhere between 100 and 200 campaigns. That's probably the biggest I've ever seen worked on.
Yeah.
And I remember one going back, actually, it was a few years ago. It was an e-commerce business. It was an e-commerce business that sold, really random, hair products.
Oh.
It was going back many moons. And they had their account when they first they did in the UK, and most of their sales were in the US actually. And I took over their account, and it was 150 campaigns.
Wow.
It was, and I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. Whittled that down to I think about 20, and I was like, that'll do. 20 is nice. But 10,000 campaigns.
10,000.
That is a cracking paid media mystery, because I did not know that.
No, there's
no way anyone's listening.
I thought that was a good one.
There's no way anyone that listening knew that. That's
yes. Yeah. So Aaron is now one for 5.
I think we need to stop doing the count.
Paid
media mysteries. Proof that Aaron has no clue what he's talking about.
What's your score at home? Let us know in the comments.
Unbelievable. Right. Okay. Blimey. Right, there you go. Right, let's bring Tim on and get into his business, because I've got some ideas straight away of what he needs to do. Tim, are you there, my friend?
I am.
There you go. Tim, welcome to Grow with Evergreen. Thank you so much for jumping on. 30 seconds, over to you. Who are you? What's your business? Go for it.
Okay. I'm Tim. I have always had a passion for interior design and furniture and things like that, particularly wooden furniture. And I have quite recently decided to fulfill that with a business supplying bespoke dining tables. All came out of a time when we wanted one at home and couldn't find what we wanted. And so we have an online business selling Scandi-influenced and farmhouse-type dining tables made to our customers' preferences.
I love it. And it is some really lovely stuff. So where are you making this stuff? Is this a classic sort of in the garage? You're making it. Have you got a workshop? Where are you actually physically making the
Yeah,
product?
no, it is exactly that. We have a workshop that I built right there in the garden, so I can roll out of bed and into the workshop and start making tables, which is great.
That is amazing. And an average table, how long does it take you to make one?
Well, the elapsed time, it can be a number of weeks because we do a lot of bonding plywood together, and it works so much better if you give that enough time to dry out properly and breathe. So we generally say it takes about 6 weeks to make one table,
Okay. And
but
is
that of
everything
course isn't.
made to order? Is there anything that you could go on and buy today and have delivered within a few days?
Well, we have got some extra bits and pieces, things like dining chairs, and some storage items which can be bought and delivered within a few days. Yes, but our main focus and business is all about the bespoke dining tables.
Okay, right, gotcha. And as I said at the top, you're selling a couple of these a month at the moment on average.
On average, that's right. We have a busier
Okay,
times run up to Christmas
sure,
and
sure,
things like
sure,
that.
sure. So at the time of recording, have we passed your pre-Christmas sort of guaranteed delivery? I'm just curious. What does that look like? How far
We
in
can't take
advance?
any further orders now for Christmas. No,
Fine.
our production is as full as it needs to be, which is
Okay,
fantastic.
that is good. That is good. So now we're
I
thinking
think
about
people
2025.
absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
we are.
And I'll be honest. I like the fact that you've focused in because you said at one time you were, as a business, you had lots of other products that you weren't making, whereas you've actually gone sort of back to your roots and your passion of you make the product and
Yeah,
you're now marketed. So I really like that. I think that's a really good move. I think I think that's good. So
yeah.
I'm glad you've
Thank
done
you.
that. Um, so, but we're only selling. And so, what does your marketing activity look like right now? Then you said you're doing a bit of SEO and some social. Is that about the length of it?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right. We've re-engineered all of our SEO over the last few months, and we're starting to see the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we are active on Instagram and Pinterest are our two main platforms.
Okay.
I'm particularly keen on Pinterest, I must say. I think it's entirely right for the product and for the uniqueness of the product.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, I would agree. Pinterest is a great platform. Are you running any ads on Pinterest? Is it all organic?
Not yet. No, not yet. Similar to our Google rankings, really. We're still working on what the most appropriate key terms are and attracting the most relevant customers to it.
Okay.
To be fair, I
Okay.
think Pinterest is probably behind our Google activity, and we're still learning how it works, quite honestly.
Sure. No, it makes sense. Just a quick question. Where did the name come from? The design and the sound. Where's that come from?
Um, I guess it's influenced by being in Cornwall to a large extent and near the beach and the sea. The
Mm-hmm.
idea was that it is reasonably simple design, something that can be drawn in the sand,
Okay.
kept simple, very much in line with Scandi influenced design. And you're right, you picked up that the sawdust has a
Sure.
similar
Sure.
look, and you're right. So there's a play there.
Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Amazing. So, right. And it's what so normally with these, so when with businesses that are startups, I sort of want to know what does the end look like? What are we trying to build? How big do we want to go? Because that will steer in terms of what I would recommend we do and how we do it. You said at the moment you're doing a couple of sales a month, and you'd be really happy and content if you could get it up to doing maybe 10 or 12 sales a month.
Yeah.
Is that and that that would mean you're profitable, you can run the business the way you want to run it, and would that still be just you building, or would you want to get anyone else in to help? What does it look like if we got to, what would the business have to look like if we were doing 10 sales a month?
Yeah, I mean, the logical thing would be to get somebody to help to build them, without a doubt. I probably could build 10 tables a month, but that wouldn't leave much time for anything else.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'd probably get somebody in and maybe outsource more of the other activities involved in running any business.
Such as what it?
Well, just organizing things, buying
Okay.
buying materials, the marketing aspects, which even though I've got people helping me, I'm still quite involved in that,
Sure.
writing
Sure.
blogs and thinking about new products, talking to customers. That's another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being such a bespoke item, it's very often more sensible to just talk to people about what they want and talk them through what can be done and what's realistic and what's going to look great in their home.
Okay. So right, I want to talk about paid media because you're not doing any sort of ads right now.
No.
So I think what and fundamentally based on where the business is right now and where you want it to get it to, do I think would I be doing Google ads? The answer is no.
Okay.
I wouldn't be doing it, and I'll tell you why I wouldn't be doing Google ads. Because based on how people are searching for your product, as you said, it's bespoke dining tables and farmhouse tables and stuff like that. The cost per click of what that's going to be quite expensive. And we know
Yeah.
because we're marketing similar products. So you're going to be paying quite a bit to get those clicks, to get those eyeballs on the brand. And whilst the product is it's beautiful, there are lots of other people that are going to be doing this, maybe with inferior quality products and so on.
Yeah.
And there's going to be other bespoke. So it's just going to be a very, very competitive market. And I think, owing to how you would have to set up your ads and how you'd have to run them, I think it would be very, and if it would work, you'd get economies of scale if you wanted to really, really grow. If you said, look, I want to be doing 100 sales, then I'd be going, okay, there's a way of making that work because we can use economies of scale, efficiencies, we can go after volume, and we can look at it from a conversion standpoint and say, well, if we can get X amount of clicks, that will translate into this amount of leads or sales and so on and so forth. But when you're only targeting a very small number of sales, I think Google Ads in this respect becomes very difficult to do. And so if you came to me and said, we want to do some Google Ads, I'd be saying, not so sure. What I would be thinking would work well for you is some retargeting, because you're obviously doing your SEO, which I want to come on to. But from a Google Ads perspective and from a meta ad, so Instagram and Facebook and a Pinterest, I would be looking at retargeting. Do you understand what I mean by retargeting?
Only at a very simplistic level, to be honest with you. I understand you can target people that have searched on certain terms, and
there's an
get
element of
in front
that, but
them.
also I would, and not even that, I wouldn't even do that because I don't think it's going to be targeted enough for you. What I'd be doing, when I'm talking about retargeting, I mean people that have been on the website. So because you're only after a very small number of people, what I would be doing, have you got an email database of people that have maybe bought or registered with you before or anything like that?
Yes, I have.
Fine.
Yes,
and is that over 1,000 people, or is that under 1,000 or over 1,000?
It's under 1,000, well under 1,000 people.
Okay, fine. So that's not, we're not going to use that. But what we could do is I would be setting up and think about retargeting. So you could put the meta pixel on your website. You could set the Google retargeting tag. Essentially, there's a bit of technical stuff that would need to happen. You'd have to get someone to do it. But the premise being, this for me feels like an exercise in keeping the brand top of mind once someone comes onto the website. And when you're getting started and funds are limited, one of the most efficient ways to just give the brand a little nudge in the right direction is to say, well, look, we're doing this stuff, we're doing some organic socials, we're up and we're out active on Pinterest, we're doing a bit of SEO, we're writing a few blogs. We're not getting a lot of people to the site, but the people that are coming to a site, what we want to do is try as best we can, stay top of mind with those folks. That's the aim of retargeting. And so what you want to do is you can create some product imagery, maybe some videos and stuff like that to just essentially prompt. It's nudge marketing. It's keeping the brand, the business, the product in front of that customer once they've been on the website and therefore shown potentially an interest in becoming a customer. Yeah.
Okay,
and the good thing with doing retargeting is in this way is you can do it for pennies. It's you don't really need someone else to manage it for you. You might need to do a bit of swatting up or get someone to set it up and walk you through how and why and what to look for and stuff like that. I wouldn't be paying someone to manage it for you because it's going to cost you more in management than it is you're going to spend on ads. You could keep this brand top of mind for your target customer for a couple of £100 a month. It's that small.
Okay.
And that is what, if this was my business, that is the first thing I'd be doing.
Okay.
Because I think then, otherwise, the people that for your SEO, you're working hard to drive them to the website. Ultimately, once they come to the website, they then leave. Most people, 97, 98 people out of 100 are going to leave and not buy. So what you want to do is say, can I stay top of mind with those folks? I would be making email capture a bit more prominent. Have you got that on the website anywhere? Where can I sign up to, learn more or stay on your email list about new products or special offers you might be running? Is there anywhere I can do that?
There is somewhere, yes. And we did for a while put a pop-up on there so that people were encouraged to do it in exchange for a discount voucher.
Sure, yep. Why
we
did you
ran
remove
that we'd run it for a couple of months and didn't have a single sign up, to be honest with you. So I rather felt it was a rather worthless interruption to their
sure.
viewing.
I mean, again, are you getting, how many visitors are we getting to the website? On an average month, do you know?
500 a month.
Okay, fine. So whether it's a pop-up or whether it's just a slightly more prominent banner, because the option you've got in the footer, no one's seeing that. So whether it's just a slightly more prominent pop-up or something on that you weave into your articles or your pages, or maybe even at the top banner. I'm quite a fan of having something in the top banner running along the top of the website. Something like that can be quite good. I would be making a point of trying to capture people's data, and I think because for you, what you've got to do, you're not getting a lot of people to the site. So what you've got to do is it's those marginal gains. So if you can just get a handful of people signing up a month, even half a dozen people, that's good. That's great, right? And then you can create a little email sequence. You can be sending them, here's this product, here's this, here's what we do. I would be focusing and selling the brand. This is where, pictures of this is where we make the products. Have you got any of that on the website?
We are just putting more on, actually. We're right in the midst of doing it.
Yeah,
and we're doing much more on Instagram too.
Yeah, I would be doing that. I think for you, that's the big thing is, you want to be capturing people's data and so you can sell them the product. But this is such a small, sort of cottage industry kind of, business that you've got, that what you want to be doing, I'd be putting your face all over this. Or, you need, here's the workship, here's where we make the product.
You can't have seen my face, that's the trouble.
But this is a personal brand for me. People are going to buy from people. If someone knew, I'm looking for a bespoke table, and if someone knew that, Tim down in his workshop in Cornwall is sitting there making this stuff, and you can capture, some videos and some photography of you making the tables, some time lapse of you putting the tables together. That's beautiful. Yep. That is going to sell the product and really just bring it to life. You've got a sustainability section, you've got an about section. That absolutely you should be doing. And then like on your contact page, who am I contacting? If you're going to be the person, I mean, you've even included your mobile on it, for heaven's sake. Like if I can phone you and I can email you, then put a picture of yourself on here. This is, I'm Tim. This is me. I make these products, and then when your about section, this is who I am. This is my background. This is my passion. I make these things down in Cornwall. Here's that. You need to be making way more about that. And that you're selling in the lifestyle, the who I am, the story, combined with then capturing the data. Because at the minute, Tim, what the website's doing is it just looks and feels like any other website that is selling, tables. You're not that. Your USP is that it's you making them. You're not buying them in. You're not outsourcing them. You're buying. You're making them. You're down in Cornwall. That's your story. You sell that, people will gravitate towards that, and I think people will then sign up because I can get Tim can make me a beautiful table down in, I love that. I'm buying into that rather than at the minute I'm just coming and I'm buying a table. So I would be telling people, people, we're hardwired to love a story. So, and I think all too often, really small businesses, and I say this a lot, is you've got to think, what is your USP? Yes, you're selling the product, but ultimately, why would someone buy your product and not product from someone else? It's what's your story. And I think that's, for me, what you need to be, littering across this website is weaving it into the entire narrative of here's the product and it's bespoke, it's handmade by me.
And that's really encouraging, Aaron, because that's very much what is going on at the moment in terms of the About Us and putting my picture on there and making it much more personal. And so that's great.
I think you need to be doing that in all of the places on the website. Even I'm on the homepage now, and you've got because what you don't want to just look is you don't want to look and feel like every other retailer doing the same thing. So at the moment bespoke, handmade wooden furniture, and you need to be talking about it's the sustainability, etc., etc. But then you need to be weaving in. You say bespoke plywood tables. Our sand-made furniture is handmade to order in Cornwall by Tim. Check out my story. It's that's what you need to be playing. Add those internal links. Get a little. Create yourself a little video and get one of your team. You can do it on a phone, for heaven's sake, and have it. This is, hi, I'm Tim. This is what I do. Here, let me walk you around my workshop. Let me show you some of the recent products I've done, and let me read you out what some of my lovely customers have said about some of my furniture.
Okay. Yeah.
Gold. That's what you're selling. You're selling the story, and in selling the story, you'll sell the product.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah,
from that, there's much more scope for us to do more of what you're suggesting than we've currently got in the.
You don't just leave it because what you're doing, what you've said you're doing in terms of updating the about, that's fine, right? And that's a step in the right direction. But if you leave the story, the narrative, just to the about section, it's going to get lost. Right? Because fundamentally, 90% of your website is product. Oh, and then here's a little bit about us. For me, I would make the story the central theme of what you're trying to sell. I would weave it into the entire narrative of this business, because I think there's not many people that are making the product, have the skills. You've got an amazing skill set there. You can actually make beautiful tables. Not many people can do that. And I think having that, and telling that story and using video, using pictures, you've got a lot of the right stuff on here. It's so product focused. It looks the same as everyone else.
I think I'm just going to pitch in here as well, and just say, as someone who has done a bit of woodworking in the past, I mean, I can absolutely attest to what you're saying, because I think not a lot of people can, and not a lot of people will. And I think it's something that is visually very nice to look at, not just for the final result, but also the making of as well. We've worked with some brands that do bespoke wooden furniture.
We still do,
we still do. And with all of the ads that I've put together with them, we've always emphasized the making, always emphasized the behind the scenes. So I think it's absolutely something that you should be shouting about.
And the time lapse, every time you're making a product, time lapse it. Get 100%. Your phone, time lapse. You can do it on your phone. Time lapse the video. That for your socials. Absolute goal. There's someone we're talking to about working with at the moment, and they do that every time they're making the product. They time lapse it. They put it up. They don't pay. They put it up organically on their socials, and it always gets amazing engagement because people are fascinated by true craftsmanship. They love it. Products that are being built, and the fact that you're building them in it's just that is your USP.
I never went as far as building tables. My niche was wooden swords.
Nice. There you go.
Oh, nice.
I've got some in the car actually.
You haven't.
I do.
Have you really?
Yeah, genuinely. Just coincidentally.
We're gonna have a sword fight after this episode.
I'll bring them in.
Right, but Tim, that's what I'm saying. That's what you need to do. You need to weave the story into this. That's how you make this work. That is, that's the goal, right? Don't just leave it as the job of the about section. Make it into the central theme of the whole site. Before we go any further, are you enjoying today's episode? If so, you'll love our other show, Tea Talks. They're short, informal chats where the Evergreen experts and I share actionable nuggets on all things paid media, creative and digital strategy that we use daily when growing our clients' businesses. And best of all, much like this podcast, it's completely free. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, see the link in the description. Now, let's get back to it.
Here's an interesting question which I've been pondering over. I have got somebody that is currently making me a quick 2 or 3 minute video introduction to the business. This is Tim. This is what we make. This is how we make it, and just run through some of the manufacturing processes as quickly as we can. Okay. And the concept is, the question on my mind is, should I put that first and foremost on the landing page on the site, or should I leave some product there? Which is a question coming directly out of what you've just been talking about, which makes total sense.
So what, as in, do you mean the homepage, the hero section, that first feature?
Yeah.
Depending on the video and what you end up being, but I love the idea of leading. I mean, you could run a split test on it, but for me, I love the idea of leading in with if you create the video that this is who I am. Bear in mind, you're not going to have sound on it if it's the homepage hero, right? So you could, but you could have it as a bit of a B-roll. So if you've got someone creating you a film, what I would do is I would create the footage whereby you have a video that goes in. You have a video that on the homepage works and showcase. Right. Hold on. Oh my goodness me. Tim, bear us a second. He's only gone and got his wooden swords. You can't see this, Tim. Look at this. He's actually gone and got his wooden swords out of the car. These are actually really cool.
I'd love to see those.
These are amazing.
I'll email my mic on. There we go.
I'll
email you a picture of them.
Look at these things.
Yeah, I use a combination of. So it's mainly MDF.
Okay.
And then cut it all to size.
There you go.
And then to paint, there's two different types there actually. So one of those, the one you're holding now, is just spray painted onto the onto the wood, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. The other one, I've gone a bit more.
Don't ask.
That's actually got aluminium tape on it. And then spray paint.
The question is, why on earth do you have these in your car?
Because.
Are you envisaging a medieval battle?
Let's hope I don't get pulled over by anyone. So it's absolutely coincidental. It's really interesting actually, because it was only because they were actually being stored somewhere. Not at my house. They were being stored at my mother-in-law's garage. And I was just cleaning some stuff out and I found them. I haven't done it for months. And I thought, you know what, I'll bring those home. So I put them in the car.
We've got Tim on the pod later. We're going to talk wooden furniture. I'll bring them along. Well, that's properly random. There you go.
I'd love to see some pictures of those. I'll tell you
what. I'll send you some pictures.
Some plywood handles alongside the MDF to just show off the
they're very good.
It's something I'd love to go back to.
There you go. Well, there you go. That's throwing me. I'm not going to lie. That's completely throwing me. I was not envisaging. If you'd said to me, right, you're going to have swords on this podcast.
Well, there you go. Yeah, if you're an audio listener, now you've got a reason to come and watch it.
Exactly that. Right. Let's get back to the topic. What were we talking about? So, video on the homepage. Yes, I would. So Tim was saying about having should he have a video on the homepage?
Absolutely,
yes.
100%.
And what I think is there could be potentially two videos here, or there's the video for the homepage. A few of our clients have got this. I think having it to showcase with some slow-mo stuff, show the stuff being made.
Some really close-up macro shots of the grain of the wood.
Exactly, all of that. Beautiful. So I think if you're going to create a video for the homepage, you've got to make sure it's a video fit for purpose. Because if it's a talking head video, that's not really going to be the best thing for a homepage feature. But if it's a homepage feature video, then showcase the product, close-ups, as you say, real slow-mo, really beautifully show off the quality, the craftsmanship, you working in your apron and all that. I'm assuming you wear an apron. All that sort of stuff. I'm imagining like a really old school cobbler, that kind of thing. I'm sure. Do you wear an apron when you're building your swords?
I didn't, but I probably should have done. Yeah.
So I would do, but then also the other purpose of a video that I think would be really important, and again, if you had that homepage hero like that on your about page, you do have you talking to camera. In the workshop, this is what here I am, I'm just building this is what I do, this is why my passion, So I actually think you could potentially do two videos, and that's the purpose of them, because I think the homepage one would absolutely work, because then you're selling in the story from the outset, and then you've only got to scroll slightly, and then you say, right, and here's what we make these Scandi tables, the bespoke, the farmhouse, the this, the that, the other.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I'd be doing. But for me, I think that you please just weave that story in your story. Don't shy away from it, because that is what makes unique, and that
I have
you tell that. Don't. That is how you absolutely make 10 sales a month on this.
Embrace it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely maximize that. And the other thing to add to this, because I think, do you know what? I think I see this a lot. Is I see small businesses that are doing SEO, or they're doing content, or they're doing ads, or they're doing this. And one thing I really preach about is, don't think of put all these SEO labels and everything on things and just go, well, I've got someone doing my SEO. But actually think, how do I convey my passion, what it is I do, and put that front and center? And I think by telling your story, you do that. But I also think when it comes to SEO, it's not about just optimizing pages, right? What you've got to do is forget that Google exists. And what you've got to do on your website is think, how can I best sell the product? And by the way you achieve that is you tell your story, but you also put the product front and center. And so if I look at your website, I love the idea of putting a video, as we've said. But what I would also be doing, in addition to that, is I would have, on your top navigation, running along the top, you've put the logo in the middle. And if anyone wants to see this, you go to designinthesand.co.uk. At the moment, you've put your logo in the middle. And then on the one side, you've got shop, gallery, customization options, contact. And then on the other side, you've got about, sustainability, articles, feedback.
Yep.
There's too much. What you need to do is you need to focus in. Your core line is the Scandi dining tables and the farmhouse dining tables, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Probably
you need to have
dining tables, to be honest with you.
Fine. But you need to have your primary core products in the top navigation. All of the customization options and all of that stuff, is secondary. So if this was my website, I would have bespoke dining tables, and make sure you've got a page, because you've got the Scandi page is, let me just look at this. So you've got you've got Scandi dining tables as
in the shops page.
As the shop, but you've then got it as Scandi design bespoke dining tables. So when you say bespoke dining tables, are they all the Scandi ones? Or not?
They're all the tables are bespoke, and they split into Scandi or farmhouse, really.
Fine. So you've actually got a slight conflict there, haven't you? Because if they're all, so what I'd be doing, do you know what Google Search Console is?
Yes.
Right. Go into Google Search Console, look in the UK, look at the last 12 months. What gets more searches? Scandi dining tables, farmhouse dining tables, or bespoke dining tables? Find out how more people search, and that's how I would then go on.
Both the Scandi and the farmhouse have an equal amount of searches at 2,900 a month. Bespoke is down at about 1,000.
Right. So what you do, so this is simple. So the way you optimize this is, as a website as a whole, I would be saying, what is Design and Stand? It's bespoke dining tables and chairs. That's what it is in a nutshell. Yeah. Right, it's bespoke.
Yes.
That's a global enough term that you say this. We sell bespoke dining tables and chairs. That's beautiful. And from a page title on your homepage, that's what you should be leading in with. So on your page title, which is the thing that appears in the tab, at the moment it's got brand first. So it says Design in the Sand. You've got a little pipe, and then it says handmade bespoke dining tables, and then you've got pipe, and then Cornwall. What you should be leading in with is not with brand, because Google reads text left to right. So you should be you should be saying bespoke dining tables and chairs. You need to look up and see how handmade feeds into that. Then you go bespoke dining tables and chairs, pipe, Design in the Sand, Cornwall. That is the hierarchically, that's a better way to optimize your page title. Then on the main navigation, I would be having one of the options in the main navigation which says Scandi dining tables. Then I would have another one that is farmhouse tables. Then I'd maybe be having dining chairs, because that's another one. And then I would be also having about in your menu, and I'd be having contact. But the whole sustainability, articles, feedback, customer customization options, all of that secondary. You don't need it in the main nav. And so what you're doing, and we had this on the last podcast, is you're trying to tell the customer so many different things, but you've actually put the product secondary. You've buried the products under shop.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So you need to bring the products. You said you don't really sell any desks or the other bits and bobs. You've got your core products. You need to put them front and center on the main navigation. Yeah. Okay. So as the overarching message is, we sell bespoke dining tables and chairs. Then you got the video, which is a lovely little slow-mo. This is who we are. This is, here's us making the product. No sound, just visually showing you the craftsmanship at work. I then come down and I can see the image. I go, oh, this type of table, that type of table, etc., etc. Beautiful. You've then got a bit of text, which I would build that out. Rather than just saying bespoke plywood table, I would be building that out to really, and with the key messaging you've got going, the straps going across, make each of them tie back to, this is what we create, and this is how and where and why we create it. Internally linking, see our story, hear from Tim, hear from me, talk, it's that. You could talk about yourself in the third person. Hear from Tim, talking about how he makes these things. Yeah, you're linking off to the story. Yeah. You tap in the sustainability piece. Then within the product specifically, that's your opportunity to talk about the customization options. Oh, you can customize these. You can choose your color and your finishes and all of that good stuff. And then within each of the products, you can weave in the feedback and the reviews. But you're putting the products front and center in terms of the navigation, and you're driving eyeballs. And so if I come on, imagine the difference now. We'd made those updates, I come on the website, I am seeing firstly a video. It is custom. It's bespoke. I look at it, I go, okay, what's happening here? I'm intrigued. I can see you making the product. I can then see without doing anything, without clicking anywhere. Okay, it tells me from the off before I even click into the website what I know what I'm going to expect is bespoke dining tables and chairs. So I know what I'm coming into. Then when I land on the site, I see the video, and I then see, oh, okay, they do Scandi tables, they do Scandi tables, they do farmhouse tables, and they do dining chairs. Oh, and now I can learn more about them, and I can get in touch. That's all you need to do.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah? And I think it's those things that's going to just put the product front and center. It's going to reinforce the story, and all of that stuff, Tim, that we're describing, that's all SEO. But you see what I mean?
Yeah,
but you see the difference is so all too often businesses, when they think, oh, SEO, they'll give it to someone else and they'll go, and they think they kind of put SEO in a box and go, well, SEO is just optimizing my page for keywords. It's not. SEO, the best way to think about SEO is, how do I sell my product and tell my story in a way that is going to gravitate and resonate with my target audience? It's not about trying to optimize for the search engine. And that's what everyone does. Everyone thinks, right, I need to put this keyword in, need to overthink this and overcomplicate it and make sure, right? If you optimize for the user and you focus on your target customer, you win with Google.
No, I've heard you say that a number of times, and it makes total sense.
Do you see what I mean? And that's the art of it. But that's what no one does. Everyone always goes, well, I need to optimize for Google. Forget Google. The best way to optimize your website, forget Google exists. Think about and focus on your target customer, because then you will create a richer, more just a better all-round experience where you will put your product front and center. You will tell your story, and that is ultimately what Google actually wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with all of, and the beautiful thing with the videos you're going to create, the stuff you're tell your story, the time-lapse videos you're going to, you create, I'd be taking pictures every time you're working on a new product, taking a picture. Here's the before, here's the during, here's the after. That's gold for your socials. I would also probably incorporate an Instagram or a Pinterest feed onto the website, so you can see in real time. If I'm on the website, I can go, oh, click through to your Pinterest. I can see what you're working on right now. All of that helps to still further humanize the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happened to that. That used to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
Okay.
That's for me. That's the way I'd do. And as I said, the only ad spend I would be doing for you would be in retargeting. I think you could do some retargeting on Google, and I think you could do some retargeting on Meta, on Pinterest, etc. But the only way I'd be doing it is thinking, I only want to engage the people that have either been on our website or engage with us on social media. So if they've liked one of your posts, and you can set those up as audiences. You'll probably need to get someone to help you do it, but it's relatively straightforward. And then anyone that engaged with your organic post, that likes anything, comments on your stuff, they've raised their hand, they've shown an interest in your products, your brand, your story, and then yes, you want to retarget them, and you'll build a retargeting audience, but you can then stay top of mind with that audience over weeks and months, not by spamming them, you keep the frequency low, but by just keep a little nudge here and there every so often. Oh, we're still here. Were you still considering that table? That, you better do that for pennies.
And that is a form of Google ad, is it? If you do it on Google?
Yep, absolutely.
Excuse my lack of knowledge.
No, it absolutely is. Yeah, not at all. That's exactly what it is. But it's Google Ads, but it's to a warm audience. And there's lots of, I'm not getting into the technicalities but there's lots of ways you can do it, whether it's search ads or display ads, or there's different types of ads you can run. But ultimately, the premise is you don't want to go out to go to a cold audience, people that don't know you, right? Because you would have to go volume to make that financially work. You're going after very few sales. Therefore, you need to, however people find you through socials and stuff like that, that's the audience that you need to then just stay top of mind for, and they're warm to you, they know you, they've been on the website, they've engaged with you, they've seen you on socials, and now you just want to stay top of mind for those folks.
Okay, understood.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Has that been useful, Tim? Has that given you a few bits and bobs
it's been really
to sort of go
useful.
away and work on?
Really useful, thank you.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it has.
Good.
There's lots to go on there. Fortunately, some of it we're already pursuing, but you've given me fresh drive to take it actually a little bit further than we were going to take it in terms of behind the scenes engagement and exposure. That you've pushed me to do more of that.
Good.
And the filming, you've come up with another idea on the film, which I can do very easily. So
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that film when it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there you go. We'll send you. Darren will send you a picture of his swords, and then you can send him a picture of when you've done the video. Because I think that will work amazing. I love that. Yeah, okay. Good. Well, look, Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure. I say keep us in the loop when you make those changes, because I think there's a few little bits and bobs there. You make those changes, I think it could make a real difference, and you can absolutely get to your 10 sales a month. I think it's really, and the product, I have to say, is beautiful. It's so lovely. I really like it.
Thanks for that.
So good stuff. Tim, thank you for being an amazing guest. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for your time. Take care.
All the best. Thanks, Tim. Look after yourself.
Bye
All the best.
for now.
Well, there you go. That was Tim. That was, do you know what? Did that sort of make sense, what I was saying there?
Absolutely.
It's just, I see that all the time, with small businesses get so fixated on, it's SEO this and it's Google Ads that. And just forget, it's like, and I think it's that class thing, you can't sometimes see the wood for the trees. Like the biggest thing he's got is that he's making the stuff himself. He's in his workshop. Like
that's so rare.
And I can't find a single picture of Tim on his website.
No,
not one. There's nothing about. There's a little bit very, quite vanilla about this is but just tell that story.
And I saw him on my screen when he came on. I'd say he's quite photogenic.
There you go. See, there you go. But it's that. Get yourself. That's what you're selling with this sort of businesses. With this kind of, it's sort of such a small business. This is the way you market it. Is you sell yourself. It's that.
Absolutely. People love personality. People love people.
People buy from people.
They do.
And when you're true craftsman, as Tim is making the product. That I just say, the time lapse.
One of my favorite programs was growing up.
Go on.
How It's Made. Have you ever watched that? How It's Made. Go and check it out.
Oh, actually, yes.
Such a good show, and all it is it's showing you how things are made in like factories and things. It's absolutely fascinating.
It's just such a great way of selling the product. And then classic, putting all the other stuff. Here's our articles. Here's our feedback. Here's all good stuff. Remember what you're selling.
That's it.
Put the product front and center. It's like if you think of it in a physical. It's like having a shop, but then putting none of your product in the window.
Yeah.
No one's walking in the shop if they walk past, and they're
it's all in the back.
Yeah, you've got all your best.
It's like
stuff.
Argos without the catalogs.
Basically, but it's like having a shop and putting none of your product in it and going. Well, when people come in, they go, "Wow, this is amazing."
Yeah.
No one's going to walk in if they don't know what's in the window. It's kind of that. Yeah. It's kind of the equivalent of that. You bury all your best stuff. Anyway, madness. That was another fantastic episode though. I love that. And do check out designinthesand.co.uk because there's some lovely products there. Right, we're we're off because we're going to take photos of these swords.
Oh, yes.
Not something I thought I'd...
No.
Not how I thought I'd wrap up this
Maybe we'll
episode.
have a mock fight with them or something.
Not how I thought I'd wrap up this episode. But yeah, we're off to take some pictures of some swords and send them to Tim, and we will see you on the next one. All the best. Take care.